Hi there, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley and Emerald Ambassador. We are doing The Secret Codes of Success by Noah St. John, and we are working on chapter 3 tonight, and this is a really exciting book. I cannot wait to just uncover all the principles in this book. I really think it's powerful for what we're learning and reading and studying right now, and who's with me thinks it's a great book. I mean, I really, and if you've, thank you, I see your hands raised. If you've read ahead like I have, you're already starting to get excited. You're thinking about some things. And by the way, if you hear beepers going off and my husband and the lights turning on, he's fixing his dinner. So he loves to eat a chicken pot pie like 4 nights a week. And that's what the man eats. So, hey, I don't have to cook. So you'll just have to just see him in the background. All right. So, hey, it's called Keeping It Real. If I had children, they'd be all over me or something. That's sort of the same thing. So we're on chapter 3. And this is, remember, last week in chapters 1 and 2, Noah St. John discussed and talked to us about the assumptions that are costing us a fortune. And he talked about the conscious versus the unconscious, that 10% of our knowledge about success or our why to's wanting to accomplish and be successful is in the conscious brain. That's 10%. But the 90% is in the subconscious. It's below. It's not what we think about all the time. And those are the why not to's of success. And those are the things that are holding us back. He gave us many different analogies about that. He covered basically talking about our foot is on the brake. That the why not to's of success are holding us back. And the very big point that he discussed was that you cannot solve a why to problem with how to's. In other words, if you have some real big things that are holding you back from being successful in your subconscious, that means some self-esteem issues, some negative beliefs about yourself, some really big fears, lots of misconceptions about who you are and what your capabilities are, because you've believed these things about yourself and they're holding you back. And then somebody just comes along and says, hey, set some goals. Hey, reach out to these people. Hey, do some follow-up. Get yourself a big why. You can be a jewel in this company. All of a sudden, that doesn't really work for some people. And they just basically fold up shop and quit. And I love his point about that you cannot solve a why to problem with a bunch of how to's. And I love that he used the chainsaw analogy, that you're wanting to nail a nail in the wall, but somebody's giving you a chainsaw. So I just explained to you the why to problem. Somebody's giving you how to's. You can't solve it with how to's, just like you can't drill a nail into the wall with a chainsaw. In other words, how to's aren't going to fix your why to's, all right? Your why not to's. So let's delve into chapter 3. He talks about the secret code being revealed. Now, I'm not reading the whole thing, but I'm going to skim over it and talk about the major points. So, first thing he does is talk about how he went to a therapy type group session, and he saw that it was for women or men and women with eating disorders. Okay? And he compares people who have eating disorders and how they are sabotaging their bodies because they have a lack of self-image. They have a really low self-image. So they're slowly killing themselves and starving their bodies because they have a very low self-image. Okay, so he says that he saw among these people something common. It was a desire to not be here on earth. And that they just basically wanted to disappear, to punish themselves because they have deeply negative self-image, like I just said, okay? And then he realized that these people were settling for crumbs while others around them were eating fully. So they were settling for crumbs. They were starving themselves. So he then compares that and says, what if we extrapolate and see that, he said, I, myself, Noah St. John, am settling for the crumbs of life. while I constantly help others get ahead, even at my own expense. So in the success realm, he's settling for the crumbs of life. He's helping everybody else get ahead, but he's really self-sabotaging himself. So he says, I've been settling for crumbs my whole life. That's what he said. And that makes perfect sense. It's a great analogy. I love that analogy. So then he talks about the starvation of success, okay? Human beings could literally starve themselves of success. And then he makes a big point that it's everywhere. He sees that going on everywhere. All right. Women, he talks about the differences between women doing it and men doing it. And let's go over that because I think it's important. Okay. Women, since the beginning of human history, have been taught that their worth comes from their physical body. And we all know that. That's why almost every woman, including myself, struggles with that the physical image of ourselves. We just can't be happy with the way we look. I have never been. I struggle with it. I think I will until I die. And it's just because that's the culture that we live in. Okay. So now you have a person, imagine this woman who lives in this world where body image equals your value. Okay. So now you have a person who's been told that her worth comes from her physical body, and you add to that a very low sense of self-worth. So low sense of self-worth. I don't have a low sense of self-worth. That's the only thing. Yeah, I struggle with my body image, but I don't have a low sense of self-worth. So if you have a woman who has a deal with body image problem, and then you add to that a low sense of self-worth, now you have some major punishments that could go on. Okay? A woman would literally start to punish herself in the places that she feels her worth comes from, namely her physical body. That makes perfect sense. That's why women starve themselves. They unconsciously punish themselves and they starve themselves of food. And what about men? You don't hear about men being anorexic very often, do you? Okay. What about men? Well, let's take a look at what men can do. Men, since the beginning of human history, have been taught or told that their whole worth, and this is so true, their whole worth is wrapped up in what they own, their possessions, their title, their job, their net worth, their holdings, the size of their bank account, or the material body. Basically, what is it they can put their hands on? Or what is it that they do? Their title. Remember, it's a job title too. It makes a man feel good to know that he's got a big title behind his name. So now you've got a person who's been told that his worth comes from his material gains, and you add to that a very low sense of self-worth. So now a man could start starving himself of success. Okay? Start punishing himself to where he won't be able to gain materialistic things or make gains in his job or career or whatnot, his goals. And so that leads him to a condition with no name. He calls it a success disorder. It's generally understood now that if he explains it that way, that you could literally start starving yourself of success. And I agree with that. That's a great analogy too. So if you've got a low self-esteem, and then you have also some things that you've been told that your worth comes from these areas, you could start starving yourself of success. Okay, it's what happens when a person develops a deeply negative self-belief, which is called head trash. Okay, and by the way, I don't care if you are highly successful, you still have head trash to deal with. All of us do, okay? Unconsciously develops a pattern of behavior marked by an aversion to or pushing away success. And then he goes on to call it maybe success anorexia. Okay, I like his terms. I like them. They make sense. They give you a visual image and a picture of what's going on in your life, right? And right now we got 22 on, so that's good. Last week we had about 35 people. So I had figured it would start high and then go lower, and people would start watching the playback, and that's okay. That's okay. So there's even bonus pressures for women. So let's talk about those. being told that their self-worth comes from their physical body, okay? Women have it way worse in today's society because not only are they told that their self-worth comes from their physical body, but also in their abilities to earn money. Yikes! Okay? So you've got to earn money, and you've got to be beautiful, and you got to have the whole freaking package, or you're a failure in today's society. Even though they're not saying it, that's the world we live in. And there's a lot of pressure. And then women look at other women who have the so-called, they perceive package, total package, and they compare themselves. So that's why we're always talking about comparison in this company, because it's filled with women, and women do nothing but compare themselves to other successful women. And it's going to get you nowhere. So he's basically just painting a picture of the problem. This is, my friends, the problem that we are dealing with. So the book, now the rest of it, is going to deal with the problem. How do we get through that problem? So then I like this part because he finishes off describing the problem with several things, okay? Here we go. 2 truths. Alex Mandossian, I hope you pronounce the right name right here, founder of the Heritage House Publishing, said these 2 things: everybody has potential and nobody's reached it yet. I love this idea. Everybody, because let me tell you something, as a teacher, I saw potential in every student, and you can see it. And I see it in every person on my team because I'm a teacher, and I see human potential in every person. And it is hard as a teacher sitting in front of a group of students and only 2 or 3% are actually working towards success. And the rest of them are barely getting by, not caring for various different reasons or whatnot, not as invested. It's hard to see people not develop their human potential because I can see it. It's hard for me, right? Okay, so while we human beings fear not being get this, this is so important. We human beings fear not being who we really are. What we tend to fear even more is being who we really are. And that is a quote by Neil Donald Walsh. Now, I want to show you something here in a second. Hang on. Since the beginning of time, all we've wanted is to love and be loved. And since the beginning of time, all we've stopped from happening is to love and be loved. You know, I watch it. I'll just give you an example. I watch The Stupid Bachelor. Okay, I admit it. Hello, why do I watch The Stupid Bachelor? And The Stupid Bachelorette and The Stupid whatever, Bachelor in Paradise, and all the other stupid Bachelor things on ABC. Why do I watch that? Because I love to see people find love. It fulfills me to say, oh, that's so awesome. Look, they're going to get married. They love each other. They've broken down the barriers. They've shown each other some vulnerability. They've discussed the future, and they're taking steps to form a lasting bond. I love that. It's just fulfilling to me as a woman, I guess. And because I can't fall in love again, I'm already in love, and I keep, developing that one relationship. I can't go and do it again with somebody else. So I'm going to watch somebody else do it. I'm going to be a voyeur. So honestly, I love that. So what is the point that I'm going to make with this? I see it all the time on The Bachelor. You got women or men that come on the show, and they get down to the nitty gritty where there's a real relationship getting ready to happen. And they say, well, I guess I can't do it. I'm not ready to do this. I can't go there. I'm not ready to make that commitment. I'm not in the right place emotionally. And they're unaware of it. And then they get on that little car and they drive away and get on a plane, go home, and all the crying starts. I mean, yes, there's rejection and all that other stuff, but I have seen where when women and men are at the point where they're getting ready to have that relationship and go down that road and make a commitment, and one of the two is not willing to do it. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to talk about here, is that there is something that they are unaware of when they want to fall in love. They want this thing to happen. That's why they went on the show, but in their subconscious, wow, they're just not being honest with themselves. They don't see what's going on, and they are in denial. Do you see my point? Okay, so I wanted to show you something. And here it is. Share screen. Boom. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, so this is really powerful. And I want you, if you need to, take a screenshot of this. Go look it up on the internet, okay? This is powerful, okay? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking back so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us. It is in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same thing. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. Yes, when you can be bold and break through your fears, don't you realize you're setting an example for everyone else? When you're amazing and just plowing through and persevering in the midst of hardship and tragedy and trial, don't you think that you're inspiring other people? Yes, you give other people permission to do it too. And if they don't like it, they can lump it, take it down the street and dump it. Seriously, guys, this is what Noah St. John is saying on page 3637. We fear not being, it's not that we fear not being who we really are. We fear more being who we really are, not admitting that all of us have massive human potential. Okay, so we've discovered that all of us have massive human potential. But we've got this thing that's holding us back, that 90% subconscious, and a lot of us who have these too many why not tos. And we've got to break through all of that. So meet the 3%ers. Now he's going to describe 3% of the population that don't have 90% why not tos. Okay, I'm going to say it again. 3% of the population is just naturally successful. Okay, they plow on through. They don't think one thing about it. Do they have a hard time from time to time? Yeah. Do they have some head trash? Yeah. Okay, but they don't have a low self-image that they're struggling with. They don't have tons and tons of limited beliefs. They are not strapped down with massive amounts of fears and have a 90% quotient of why not tos in the subconscious. They just don't. And he makes the point that these are people that are just naturally talented, and it's hard for them to teach what they're naturally talented at. They just say, here, just do this. Just do it. Do it. I saw it in my classroom all the time. Kids who naturally were great at the language, they just formed the sentence structures. They had a natural ability to memorize vocabulary and understand. All they could do was look at it and they got it. They didn't need to sit there and think and agonize and whatever. But then if I put one of them next to one who couldn't do it, they couldn't explain it. They said, here, just give it to me. I'll do it for you. They couldn't explain it. And that's the thing. I want you to get that. There's a lot of people in that 3% that are naturally talented and they can't teach. So what do? They give you a bunch of how-tos. Set your goals, get your big why, go out there and here's how you reach out and follow up and close a sale. Here's how you make a Facebook Live, right? But they're talking to people that have 90% why not tos in their subconscious, assuming that those people don't have 90% subconscious why not tos, that they're just like them. All I have to do is give you the how tos and you're going to go out there and do it. Do we do this with our own teams? Hello? Okay, so who out there has something down with success and we just assume that when we sponsor somebody that we are just here, here's the how to, just go do it. We do. But we've got to really start to recognize that the people that we deal with and that we sponsor are dealing with a lot of limited self-beliefs, fears, low self-esteem, low self-image. They've got they all want to be successful. They want it bad. Okay? But that part is in the 10% conscious, and they're dealing with this massive iceberg underneath the surface that's got these limited beliefs. They've been beat down over their lives. They've had people speak poorly to them, make themselves think poorly about themselves. They've got low self-esteem. They've got some fears they're struggling with, and they just can't seem to get past it. But we keep throwing how-tos at them. How to. And it's just like, and then they quit. Now, we can't be responsible for the fact they quit. That's not what I'm saying. But that's the problem, and that's the conundrum that we're dealing with here. Okay? He says, there's a thing called the 97-3 rule. About 3% of the population holds most of the world's greatest wealth, while the remaining 97% struggle just to get by. That's a lot of mediocrity, don't you think? I heard it the other day. Okay, let me give you an example of some mediocrity. You ready? There's a person on my team who reached out to somebody about an event and was like, oh, this is going to be great. And they thought that these people were rock stars. They're going to come. They're going to see this event. They're going to be turned on, man. All you have to do is just see it. Once you see it, you're going to get it. You're going to join it, right? What did this couple say? Or one of the persons in this little couple said, let me quote it, see if I can get it right. This is mediocrity. So you hear the voice of mediocrity. Hey, we really respect you. We really appreciate you reaching out. We really love you. And we know that you're so successful and we are cheering you all the way. But you know what? We are so happy with what we are doing. And even at this time in our lives, if this is an incredible opportunity and we're passing it by, that's okay with us. That's okay. We're all right with that. Do you hear the mediocrity? It's okay. We're just going to pass it by. We don't care. It's not a big deal. We'll just stay where we're at. We're happy. Okay. Enjoy that. That's the 97%, guys. So I think a lot of you who are here on this call want to not ever be in that 97%. Yeah, Crystal. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing when you hear people really show you their mediocrity of thinking. It really starts to blow your mind. You're like, man, that's not me. I'm not in that category. I'm not doing that. I'm going for it. I got a dream. I'm going. I'm not going to stop till I get there. If it takes me 10 years to make $100,000, I'm going to do it. Don't you think it's worth it? Working part-time to make $100,000 in 10 years, even if it takes it 10 years to do it. I think that's really, really a great analogy. Okay, moving on. So there was a little example that I wanted to give you. I want you to hear that potential is in all of you. Every single one of you have it in you to go and be a 3%er. Okay? Money is not just allotted for a certain few. I want you to get that. Money is not just out there allotted to a certain few. Talent is not just out there allotted to a certain few. It's available to anybody, and it's got your name on it. You just got to go get it. Okay. There's not just a limited amount of money that's sorted away only for these few people that can have it. I mean, all of us can have success. Few people ever choose to take and make use of their full human potential. Now, here's the last point that I want to make before I talk about, okay, no, take that back. I'm going to make a couple more points. Okay. So this is really important. I put like triple start it. Okay. All of this wealth and talent and potential is not just held up someplace. No one can keep love, money, or opportunity away from you any more that someone can stop you from reaching your full potential. I think I just made that point. I love that point that he made there. So those 3%ers are just unconsciously competent. They are unconsciously competent. And it's hard for them to sit down and teach somebody what they know how to do and why they do it. So what are the 4 levels? What are the 4 levels of, I'm going to read what you just said, Lynn, because I'm curious to what you just said. Mom says, yeah, Lynn just said she was listening to the audiobook, and her son yells out, Mom, you're a 3%er. I agree, Lynn. You are a 3%er. 100,000%. I agree. 100%. Yep, absolutely. Okay, 4 levels of competency. Number 1, figure out where you're at. Okay. Unconscious incompetence. You don't know that you don't know. And that was that little couple I just told you about. They don't know that they don't know. They're just out there. Oh, we're happy not having the opportunity. We're happy passing it by. Unconscious incompetence. Number 2, conscious incompetence. Like, oh, I know that I don't know something. At least I know that I don't know. Number 3, conscious competence. I know that I know. Okay? But what's unconscious competence? Here's that 3%. You do it without even thinking about it. You do it unconsciously. It's unconscious competence. You're doing successful things without even thinking about it. You're just completely wired and programmed to do all of the right things all the time. Not necessarily all the time, but a lot of the time. Okay, so what is he saying? We all try to learn from the unconscious competent people. And there's loads of books out there on the shelves that we buy all the time. And these are all the 3%ers telling us how to do it. And notice it's all how-tos. How to. And none of it just really makes sense. Okay, and we try it all, but it never really works. When you're unconsciously competent at something, you often do not know how you are really doing it. You don't even know what you're doing. And he gives an analogy. I like his analogy. He says, successful ballet dancers are trying to teach him to do a ballet dance, right? They say, here, just do this. Just do it. And he can't do it. But the teacher who took the time and taught him step by step actually was able to help him to learn how to have some level of competence in ballet dancing. So I'm going to use the analogy of myself. Are you ready? Okay. Not bragging, but I am in the 3%. Okay. I do not have a lot of subconscious limiting beliefs about myself. From day one, I said I can freaking do this thing, and I did it, and I didn't even think about it. I started calling everybody. I don't care what you think about me. I'm just going to do it. Tell me no, watch me fly. I don't give a flying crap. I texted everybody. I said, here, you got to meet me for coffee. We got to go talk about this thing. If you don't want to join me, no problem. Get out the way. There's 30,000 people behind you. That's my mentality at day one, and I had no team, and that's my mentality today. Do I have head trash? Yes. Do I have fears? Yes. But are they holding me back from being successful? No. It's the truth. Okay? Now, but here's the luck of the draw. You ready? I'm a good teacher. And I can teach some of you that are held back And if you have limiting beliefs about yourself, I see the human potential in you and I know how to help you through it. And if you have some fears and some things that are holding you back in your subconscious, I can help you work through it because I see that human potential and I can teach you the step-by-step. I can teach you to get through this. And if it takes a little longer, who gives a flying crap? You can do it. You can do it. And I know you can do it. And that's what's so brilliant about it. So I'm not going to be just saying, see here, just do it. Just do it. You know, I can do it. Just do it. No, I'm going to teach you how to do it. So if you feel like you're in the 97% or whatever, and you are feeling held back by some of your fears and your limited beliefs, well, you're in the right place, right? You're on the great team that people help each other and they're a family and we're a community and we're all learning together. Yes, do I consider myself a part of the 3%? Yeah, but I didn't go diamond in 24 months or 16 or 10. It took me 2.5 years to go emerald. And the average emerald goes emerald in 15 months, according to the company. And I think that as many more years go on in this industry, especially in this company, it's going to take a longer average to go emerald. It's going to be longer than 15 months. Okay. So, you know, don't despair. There's a way to do it. The true causes of success are always hidden to the counterintuitive. The true causes of success are often hidden to the counterintuitive, even especially to those who are naturals. So if you're a natural, most of the causes of success are hidden to the naturals. They just say, here, give it to me, I'll do it. Since, you know, here, if you can't do it, I'll do it. Here, you just do it. And they can't explain how. So remember the differences between being and doing. The secret code of success is a way of life. It's a way of life that involves being and doing. It's really just a code of living every single day, not like a code that you use to open a safe, not that kind of a code, but a way of life, okay? So I'm going to try to explain it. The way of being is first to discover who you really are. And the way of doing is to take actions in accord with who you are. So discover who you really are and then take actions in accordance with that. And the being and the doing will allow you to exceed to your fullest potential. So why should you use the code? On page 43, you're going to get rid of your head trash. It's holding you back. You're going to allow yourself to make more money. Your sales and recruiting efforts are going to improve. You're going to enjoy improved relationships with yourself and with others. You're going to feel better about you and with other people. Your self-confidence will increase naturally. You'll experience enhanced feelings of happiness, connection, joy, enthusiasm, and love. You'll begin to know and live your purpose on earth. Doesn't that sound amazing? That's how I feel. I mean, yeah, I've got head trash that holds me back from time to time, but most of the time I'm feeling joyful and in my calling. And it's not plexus that's my calling. I want you to hear me when I say that. It's not reaching out, following up, getting people on product and helping them achieve financial success. It's helping people, seeing them inspired and loving them and being with them on the journey and being a part of their fulfilling their human potential. That's my calling. It's not the vehicle that's the calling. It's the outcome that's my calling. Okay? Plexus is just this incredible vehicle that God has given me to do it. And that is exactly what he's given to you too. Amongst other vehicles, you might have other vehicles that you're using to help other people and fulfill your human potential and your calling in life. Other vehicles. What about maybe the gospel? We share the gospel with people because we feel like we have the answer for eternity. And if we didn't share that, then we would be doing wrong. If you're a Christian and you believe that, right? So that's a vehicle. That's a great vehicle, if you ask me, an eternal vehicle. But that's a fulfilling purpose and a cause and a calling in my life is to share the gospel with other people. It's not my purpose and calling to make sure they're saved. That's up to God. But it's for me to share. Okay, so there's all kinds of vehicles out there. Self-destructive behaviors that hold you back from success are precisely that, only behaviors. He's talking about these head trash things that sabotage us. The true cause of all human behavior, remember, is your why to's and your why not to's, not your how to's. You can't change your behavior at the level of the behavior. Okay, like for example, he gives that bathing analogy. You naturally, subconsciously go and bathe because every single day because you have more why to's than why not to's. So you're in the bathing daily club and you subconsciously do it. It's just a part of your day. You're not going to go, something's calling me not to bathe today. I'm afraid, I've got some human fears about it. No, it's a part of your daily routine. Well, why can't reaching out, following up, and helping others be a part of your daily routine? Well, because some fears are holding you back. There's something holding you back. So our why to's outweigh our why not to's. And if you have that thing going on, then you're firmly in the camp of the bathe before work camp, okay? Here's the thing that you got to know. This is why you can know how to do something. You can know how to's. You got all the how to's of network marketing. You've got them all. They've been told you. Eric Worre tells you. Sarah Robbins tells you. I tell you. Every jewel that you listen to on a call tells you how to succeed in network marketing. You can know how to and never let yourself do it. You can never let yourself do it because you've got more why not to's. Why to. You cannot solve a why to or a why not to problem with how to's. That's his point. So move beyond the behavior. I don't want to read page 45. I just don't want to. The goal of this whole book is to eliminate self-sabotage, to become a 3%er and fulfill your purpose. How do you do it? You've got to take some action. You got to take action. The point is, if you're simply doing the 7 steps of the code, it's actually not possible to hold yourself back from the success that you want in your life. Follow the code. You're going to eliminate the self-sabotage for good. Okay, and then he gives you the code. There's your code. 7, the little pyramid, right? 7 steps. And in chapter 4, which is the next chapter, he's going to go over his, excuse me for saying made up word of affirmations. It's a made up word. It's not in the dictionary. I looked it up. It's not there. They're going to require some effort to execute these code steps. Okay. But we're going to learn them and we're going to do them together. I love this book already. Aren't you guys ready to get your foot off the brake? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So there we go. That's chapter 3. And as I always say, if you are not joining us for the actual live call, you are missing out because we talk business after this. We talk about what's working in our business, what's not working in our business. We talk about reflections. We have a team chat. This is where growth happens, reflection, vulnerability. And if you're not on after this teaching part, you miss out. So guess what? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So I'm not sorry. I'm going to turn off the recording and I hope you join us live next week. Love all y'all. Mwah.